All right, you're good to go, Nancy.
All right. Good afternoon. This is the Barnstable Historical Commission. We are meeting on Tuesday, July 16th, 2024 at 3 p.m. Applicants, their representatives, and individuals required or entitled to appear before the Barnstable Historical Council may participate through accessing the link or telephone number provided. The link is townofbarnstable-us.zoom.us/J/862-7135-7469. Phone number is 888-475-4499. And the meeting number is 862-7135-7469 also. So it's 862-735-7469. I'm doing very well here today. This meeting will be replayed via Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via the Government Access Channel live video on demand archives on the Town of Barnstable's website. Documentary exhibits and or visual presentations should be always submitted in advance of the meetings, and they should go to Erica Brown, and her email address is erica.brown, BROWN, at town.barnstable.ma.us, so that they can be seen by the public through remote viewing. Members of the public wishing to review plans and applications prior to the meeting are instructed to contact the Planning and Development Department, Erica Brown, by calling again 508-862-4787, or by emailing her. First of all, I need to know, is there anyone here that is recording this meeting? We need to know that. No? Okay. Hearing that that is not the case, we have a roll call. Marilyn Fifield? Marilyn, I see you, but you're on. Marilyn, we'll come back to you. George Jessup? Cheryl Powell?
I'm here.
Jack Kay? Barbara DiBiase?
I'm here.
Bob Frazee?
Yep.
And we have a new alternate, and his name is, I'm getting blank, John Richmond.
Yes, thank you, and I am here.
Yes, thank you. Marilyn, are you? Yes, you're off mute. Marilyn, are you here?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Please note that this meeting is recorded and broadcast on Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. We have asked, and nobody is taping the meeting, acting under the provisions of the Code of the Town of Barnstable, SS 112-1 through 112-7. The Historical Commission will hold a public hearing on the following applications, and I must say there are no applications and no hearings that have been scheduled for this meeting. So our first item on our list, on our agenda, is the election of officers. And did we do nominations, Erica?
Yes.
Last year? We
We
did,
did
right?
nominations last meeting, so just as a reminder for everyone, we'll start with the chair. The chair nominations were for Robert Frazee and Nancy Shoemaker. So if somebody would like to make a motion to elect one of them.
Well, they both for chair?
Yes, there were two nominations for chair. As a side note, I do know that Nancy did reiterate at the meeting that she would not like to be chair.
Well, in that case, Robert, I'll nominate you if Nancy has made it clear and she's not contradicting that and saying that she does want to continue.
Actually, we're done with nominations. This is to move that we have an election.
So moved. If you're confirming that you do not want to continue.
That I have not been
So
desiring.
So moved.
Second, anybody?
I'll second that.
All right, now we'll go through a roll call. Marilyn Fifield,
Yes,
For,
I'm sorry. Bob
For-
Frazee.
right? Cheryl Powell,
Aye, I confirm.
Barbara DiBiase,
Aye for Barb as well.
Bob Frazee. Come
I
on,
guess I'd be a fool not to vote for myself, right?
Bob. And Nancy Shoemaker, I heartily am thrilled to have and hope will happen, Bob Frazee be the chair of our commission. So we have that passed. Our next election is the vice chair, and the nominees are,
It was for Nancy Shoemaker.
okay. Anybody can add. Um,
I move we elect Nancy Shoemaker vice chair.
I'll second that.
okay, that was Cheryl seconding it. Marilyn, we'll start with you again.
Yes, for Nancy Shoemaker.
Okay, Cheryl Powell,
Aye,
Barbara DiBiase,
Aye as well.
Robert Frazee,
Yes. Aye.
Nancy, okay, yes. And then we have our clerk, and we have only one nomination, right?
Yes, one nomination for Marilyn Fifield to remain as clerk.
And do we have a, do we move to have an election?
So move.
I'll
I
second.
move we elect Marilyn Fifield clerk. Sorry, to be more
I'll second
specific.
that.
And Cheryl was seconding that. Okay, Marilyn, put you right on the spot.
Yes, thank you.
Cheryl,
Yes,
Barbara DiBiase,
Yes, I agree.
Bob Frazee,
Yes.
and Nancy Shoemaker, yes, and thank you, Marilyn. So I am no
Thank
longer
you.
in charge of this meeting.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Well, there's no motions today, so.
That's true.
And we do want to mention to the public that we have a new alternate member, and that is John Richmond. John Richmond lives in Hyannis. He's very into history, has been for a long time. John, oh, I'm talking like on the managing this meeting. Can I do this, Chairman?
Go for it.
Continue.
Yes. Heartily endorse it.
John, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I lived in Hyannis for a very long time now. My wife grew up here. My children went to school here. My grandchildren went to school here.
You froze on us.
Main Street went back and forth between being one way and two ways. I do tend to feel that it would be nice to try and save some of
We're losing you a bit, John. I
the
don't know.
Maritime Museum, where I'll be actually narrating Peter Campbell's postcard collection of Hyannis. And I've been working on an audio tour of Pleasant Street then and now, which has been interesting if discouraging.
Yeah.
So anyway,
John, you mentioned that at the
I hope to learn and participate. And can you hear me?
we can
Yes.
now. You're going
Yes,
in and out a little.
You cut out a bit early on, John, when you were just about after you finished saying that your kids had grown up here and your grandchildren were here. So I think we lost you for a couple of minutes.
Well, it's hard to know what to say. I'm getting a message that says my network band low.
Oh, we're
So let's
And
just
we're
say that
guessing
I
that may be
love
true because
history.
you're
I've lived in
cutting in
Hyannis
and
a long
out still,
time.
but that's okay. Thank you very, very much.
John, can I
Thank
just
you.
ask you, when is the Maritime Museum exhibit? That sounds wonderful.
That's August the 16th, Friday the 16th.
For just one day? Or the
It's their evening on tap.
Okay,
Yeah,
So
we can
it's a
cover it under
presentation.
events also, but it's a history on tap event. It's usually on Fridays.
right.
Um,
So it's not
and
in
it'll
the,
be-
it's not in the exhibit area. It's a one night thing.
That's
Right.
correct.
Great, I'll go there. Great. Sorry, Chairman.
No, you did great. I think that's fine. Thank you, John, very much and welcome aboard for sure. Erica, the next thing I see on the agenda is to discuss meeting time. Is that correct? Are we ready to go to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if
I
I could
did-
interrupt, it looks like Jack has joined us.
Oh, thank you very much, Barbara. Yes. Hi, Jack.
I have to get a cord. I'll be right back.
You seem to be muted. But it's nice to have you with us by phone, I guess, is how it looks.
Jack, are you in California or Massachusetts?
Or in between. Well,
Looks like he may be having a couple of
yeah,
internet
so
issues too.
I'm going to say sometimes this is one of the reasons I actually do like the in-person meetings, but I know it doesn't always work. So anyway, we're taking a good shot at it. One of the topics to discuss was perhaps changing the time of the historical commission meetings, moving from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I just would like to open that for discussion amongst the commissioners. If anybody has any thoughts about it. Cheryl, I believe this was in part of to be of assistance for you. Will that work for you?
Well, we were, for years, we met at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And we changed it sometime around the pandemic time. But my work hours are 8, sometimes 7 until 4 o'clock. So it means, it's not a huge issue, but if people don't mind moving it back, that would be helpful.
Well, we'd love to have you at our meetings, obviously, and
Well, that's
appreciate
why I've
your
had to miss
contribution.
it
So,
because
yeah.
sometimes a patient will come in, it's a crisis, and or
Sure.
something happens, and I mean, that has priority.
May I ask about the selectmen's meeting room? Is there someone who comes in right after us?
It's a good
So
question.
as far as the calendar has gone, usually the water supply board is at 5, but they have been meeting via Zoom lately. I would just need to be able to hop on and change the meeting times on there as soon as possible. So after this meeting today, if it is elected to move to 4 p.m., then I would select the selectmen's conference room for 4
Okay.
p.m.
Okay. I only asked because we may or may not be going back to in-person full-time based on, circumstances. So.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that we've gone back to Zoom. And I missed that meeting. Was there a particular reason for that, or just convenience?
So
Well,
for
my
today's
understanding
meeting,
was, yeah, go ahead, Erica. I'm sorry. Go
for
ahead.
today's meeting specifically, I had reached out to Nancy Shoemaker to move to Zoom because we did not have any public applications for this meeting. So I had asked if we wanted to elect to do via Zoom so that you, Cheryl, who's been struggling to be in at 3, and Marilyn, who is a lot easier for her to attend via Zoom, could attend, especially for the election. And Nancy had agreed, so we elected to move just this meeting to Zoom.
But hereafter, we'll be resuming the in-person meetings as originally scheduled. I believe it's through October. Is that what we decided previously?
And
That is
then,
correct.
and then November, we would be moving back to Zoom through March.
Right.
But I did speak with communications about moving to 4 o'clock. They're good to move to 4 o'clock. But they would like us to be consistent in that and not
Sure.
to move the meeting time from meeting to meeting. So if we move to 4, we will be consistent on 4 p.m.
Well, let me ask another question, in case I misunderstood what you said earlier. Water board is at 5 o'clock, but that's Zoom. They're doing it by Zoom.
Yes,
Okay,
they have
so
been meeting via Zoom. So I would just, like I said, move to reschedule those selectmen's conference room for us for 4 p.m. And the water board, they could potentially meet in one of the other conference rooms if they were to elect to be in person, but I know that they have been via Zoom lately.
Doesn't everyone have to go to in-person meetings come March?
Potentially. So March is when the state reviews the bill for holding remote and hybrid meetings. And so that will be reevaluated in March by the state. So depending on what the state elects to do, that's when I will bring that to you. If they elect no, then we would have to go back to in-person. If they elect to be able to remain remote and hybrid, I would bring that to you again as well before at the March meeting or potentially the April meeting. That's what happened last year. Is it was
Right.
Yeah.
they made the determination after our meeting in March. So I had to schedule an in-person meeting just in case for the April meeting. So that's most likely what will happen again, is that April will definitely be in person, but it is all up to the state, and the town follows what the state
Mhm.
says.
And
Rebecca,
that's
could
why
I
I was
ask-
asking about the water board. If we do move later, how are we going to impact them if we have to meet in person? So,
You just said, Erica, that they could go and use another room. So the way I'm interpreting that is that if we already have the selectmen's conference room at that time frame, then they would go to another or change their timing.
Yes. They are not a recorded board, so
Ah.
they could meet in like the planning and development conference room, for example.
Okay.
Where the selectmen's conference room is set up for being recorded. So we would, I usually book the meetings when I do the yearly schedule in November, and I have you guys to approve that yearly schedule. I then go and book the meetings directly after that.
Mhm.
for the
Erica,
next
can you
year.
tell us who it is who actually makes the decision about the hybrid meetings continuing as an option for the state or not? Is it done by the legislature? Is there an appointing body? Or the reason I'm asking is, you perhaps know from watching my horrific video that I'm self-conscious about. It wasn't horrific. I meant everything I said in it. But one of the things I really feel strongly about is to try and extend the hybrid meeting opportunity so that we can expand who can participate in our meetings. Continue to hold them in person for sure, but if others can't make it, I would love for them to still be able to be part of the project and be contributors and reach out to more individuals. And I wonder if there's someone we should, if any of us feel strongly about it, write to or call and speak to about that and say, hey, here's one of the reasons we think it's important.
I'm
Any
not
idea?
100% on that, Bob, but I can reach out and try to find that answer for you, and I can let
That'd
you
be
know,
great.
let
Thank
the
you.
commission
I
know.
really, I appreciate
The
that.
selectmen's conference room is set up for hybrid because the appointments committee uses it for hybrid.
It
Sarah,
looks like
can I-
Sarah's on, so.
Yeah, can I take this opportunity just to chime in as the station manager for Barnstable Government?
Hi, Sarah.
The selectmen's conference room is not set up for a
Oh,
hybrid.
it's not?
What I thought.
No. The appointments committee meets in a hybrid fashion without the use of Barnstable Government Access. So because you go through Barnstable Government Access, the selectmen's conference room is not available. It is up to the town council president to decide who can meet in a hybrid fashion. Right now, it is only available to town council. And as a note, it takes 3 staff people from my staff for a hybrid meeting. So while it seems like it's a very easy and simple thing to do, I do require 3 staff people. So I just wanted to let that be known because I know there's been a lot of conversation about, more boards and committees wanting to be hybrid. But I do want, everyone to be aware, it does take 3 staff people, and I only have a staff of 4. And we record over 30 boards, committees, commissions, and special meetings every month.
wow.
So
When I-
it is not as simple as everyone thinks it is. So since I'm here, I wanted to just clarify that a little
No,
bit for you.
I particularly
you.
appreciate
Yeah.
that, Sarah. Thank you. I mean, I never presumed that it was easy, believe me, nor did I think it would be anything other than impactful on staff needs to extend hybridization of meetings more through the town, but I still think it's worth looking at, even if it's expensive and it needs to be managed by more people, just because I think it's critical to include additional constituencies and other members of our townwide demographic as best we can. That's just my own little private soapbox.
Sarah, a quick question. When I attended the appointments committee meeting in, I think it was like May this year, they did have the screen, and it was hybrid, and some of the appointments committee members were actually on the screen. But since you said it's the town council members, and most of the, if not all of the appointments committee is town council, so then that probably explains that. Am I interpreting that correctly?
No, you are not interpreting that correctly. They do not use Barnstable Government Access staff to record their appointments committee meetings.
Oh, no, it's for participation, not recording.
Right, but that's a whole, like, so that's why they were able to have it quote unquote hybrid. So it's not necessarily the correct way to host a meeting, because they other boards have done it that way, have been Zoom bombed recently. So yes, they did do it, but was it necessarily the way it should have been done? My opinion is no.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Our main item at the moment is the time change for the meeting. Should we request a motion for that, unless other people have more things that they would like to say about the timing of the meeting? That's really the main event at the moment. Anybody else have questions or thoughts or points they'd like to make about that? Could we have a motion about moving the meeting to 4 o'clock then, please?
I'll move that we change our Barnstable Historical Commission meeting on the third Tuesday of every month, starting at 4 p.m.
I'll second that.
Great, thank you. Well, it's been moved and seconded that we move our meeting time for the Barnstable Historical Commission to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Is there any discussion on that? Anybody have any comments or anything of that sort? Hi, Jack. Good to see you, sir. Seeing none, Erica, do we need a roll call vote for this, or is it okay? Could we proceed with that, please?
So you just need to go in order of saying
Oh, I do.
everybody's
I'm
name.
sorry.
Yep.
I'll go around who I see on my screen. Excuse me. Barbara,
Nay,
nay. You'd prefer to
Correct.
stay at 3? Okay.
yes, I would.
All righty. Nancy
Aye. Aye.
and Cheryl,
I'll say aye.
Jack. I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
It sounds like you're saying aye, but
Might be his volume.
You're
Jeff,
muted
it seems
now.
like your microphone isn't working. Because of that, do you want to give a visual thumbs up or thumbs
Yeah,
down for
thumbs.
that? Perfect, thank you.
I was just gonna say that, Erica.
Thank you very much. Marilyn,
Aye.
very good. And John, you're an alternate. Can he vote in this, Erica? I'm not tracking this correctly.
Depends on the 7. If we can have up to 7 votes.
So yes, actually, John, your vote, sir.
John,
Maybe not possible.
Is the sound on our end?
No, he
Two.
was freezing earlier, so I think he might
Oh, that's
still
right.
just be having issues.
I think we'll have to. I think we'll have to.
I am having issues, but there's no point in things. So whatever people want to do is fine with me.
So that's an aye vote for 4 o'clock then from you, John.
Sounded like an abstain to me.
I could go with that too. For the sake of moving forward.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, I think for the sake of moving forward, we should assume that's an abstain, because he did say he could do either thing. So I believe the motion carries. Is that correct?
You didn't do
Bob,
yet,
you
Bob.
also need to make a vote.
you
Oh,
do.
yes, aye, of course. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Keep a sharp
Barbara,
eye.
Can I just ask, is it a problem for you to be here? Will you not be able to come?
No, I can come. It's just, I have other commitments on Tuesday afternoon, so it's gonna be a mad scramble, but
Sorry about
I
that.
can do it.
And if we have more than enough people here to make a quota, you can always leave early too if you had to, so.
Yeah,
Alright.
I prefer coming. I try to come as often as I can, but,
Sure.
oh, I'm not trying to be difficult. It's just that, I have to run out at a certain time. It's not a problem.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is to discuss the training workshop. And Erica, I think possibly you can fill us in a little on where we stand with that and what additional things you need from us. I know you would like me to put my questions in writing, and I will do that.
Yes, if you could please do that. I did receive questions from Barbara. So if anyone else has any questions, if they could please send them in to me as soon as possible. I've had an array of questions from both Bob and Barbara to do with policy and procedure, to do with open meeting law. So I think we have a great basket of items to discuss. But I just want to start feeling that conversation. I've been working with Corey to set up a training. We want to go over those questions and pull in the people that we need to answer those questions as best as possible. So for the open meeting law questions, we may pull in legal, for example, and for some of maybe the Cape Cod Commission, although we can answer your question, Barbara. I think it may be great to also pull in maybe Sarah Corgiff to give a little presentation about the Cape Cod Commission. So I want to make sure we're reaching out to the correct people to really delve into your questions and make sure we can give you the best answers possible. So saying that too, depending on schedules and such, I don't know how feasible August is. I'm not trying to push it back or anything like that. We may be able to touch upon a couple of topics in August that I may be able to answer, and then have other subsequent little training workshops for the other questions to pull in these other people to answer them. So I just wanted to let you know where we stood on that, and that's where we're at the moment. So if anybody else has any other questions that they potentially have about any of these items, please send them in to me. We're trying to get them into a Word document to answer them. And so that when we're done having those discussions, we can also provide you with that document too for reference.
It's a great idea. Good for you. It'd be nice to have that as guidance, especially for somebody with a memory like mine. That'd be super. Right. Well, thank you very much. Marilyn, do you have anything for Community Preservation Committee?
I don't think so, but certainly comments are always welcome.
Am I correct that there was the annual meeting was it last night?
No, it's in July.
When though?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's next week.
Oh, I'm okay. Perhaps I'm off by a week. I thought I had missed it already. I was thinking I might even go.
No, yeah. And the monthly meeting will be right after it. So there'll be 2 meetings together.
Okay. Good to know.
And I think they're having lemonade and cookies, so
Oh,
perhaps
big
that will
audience time.
influence you.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we began discussing a little bit the possibility of 1 or 2 historical events open to the public in various parts of the community. Anybody else have things they want to share as part of the meeting? Nancy?
I have a few. First of all, Jeffrey Crocker, who's the son of David Crocker, the historian, he's been part of our David is the son, the father has been part of our commission at times. He's going to be speaking about the Crockers of West Barnstable at the 1717 Meeting House. And that will be this Friday at 7 p.m. He's a good speaker. It, promises to be a good meeting, and chances are you have some Crockers in your family because they seem to be everywhere. So had good stories, things talking about his family owning the general store. And I won't give away all the interesting stories he has, and then the next Friday, so that's this Friday, the next Friday, the 26th of July, also at 7 p.m., the Yarmouth Ancient Cemetery Association, which started maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I was in that first group of people who got together and learned quite thoroughly the proper way to clean gravestones. And so they're having it's kind of a fundraising for them, but it's also interesting meeting for everyone because Greg Williams, who you've, I'm sure, all heard of, historian, retired judge from Martha's Vineyard most recently, just a fun, crazy presentation presenter. Chances are he'll have a murder or 2 in his presentation, but he's going to be talking about the cemeteries of Rome and Paris. So that's, again, not this Friday, that's Jeff Crocker, but the next Friday, Greg Williams is going to be talking as part of a getting together by the Yarmouth Ancient Cemetery Association. So, and I must say too, this, you could say, oh, Yarmouth, what big deal, but there were a couple of us who went, 3 of us actually, who went to that first session of maybe 8 different meetings. I mean, they were very, very thorough. I even got asked to come back later and watch them repair gravestones that had been broken, and I would never, ever do that, but I was very honored that they asked me to come to the meeting. But since then, we three have now become 5 or 6 people in the town of Barnstable who are cleaning Barnstable gravestones. And one of those is Lucy Loomis from Sturgis Library. And she, and I think it's Carrie Burst. No, I think it is Carrie Burst. They have cleaned the first 3 rows of slate markers. Incredible. And they're going to be doing a lot more. Again, this isn't something that anyone is supposed to do unless you are trained or you're a family member. And even if you're a family member, you should be letting the Gravestone Commission know about it. Then there's a third meeting, and that's just a few days later on Monday at 3 p.m. at Sturgis Library, and that's with David Crocker, Jeffrey's father. And if you go into Sturgis and go into the, I call it the archive room, but that front room facing 6A, and look through some of these folders that he has put together and given to the Sturgis Library, it's incredible. He has Form Bs in there. He has pictures of houses, but he also has the menus of restaurants and personal information and letters. And I just started thinking one day, you know, this is incredible info. I haven't looked at it in a long time, and it should be brought to the public eye once again. And David's just incredible. He's got other items that Lucy from the library is going to be bringing up from the vaults downstairs that the Crocker family have donated. So that's again at 3 p.m. on Monday, July 29th. And I'll shut up.
Anybody else have any events to talk about or tell us about? I'm just going to say, I'm going to pick up on John Richmond's, excuse me, comments about the Hyannis Historical Society presentation at the Maritime Museum in a couple of weeks, and say that routinely they have a thing called History on Tap, which you can subscribe to, or you can do walk-ins, or you can register online. I think it's $5 a person to cover the costs, but they have a different topic and a different speaker, usually every Friday. And so the, let's see, History on Tap for the 19th, which would be this Friday, is Brian Dudley from Yarmouth Port Library talking about ocean liners. I see August 2nd is the Atwood Museum, Chatham Historical Society. The 30th of August is on the Vikings. I mean, if you go to their website, you can see this. It's an ongoing thing. And I can tell right away, hearing what Nancy was announcing, that sometimes these things are going to be in conflict. We'll have to sort of pick and choose what we have time to do and want to try. But at least those are a routine thing. Does anybody have any other business or anything else we need to go over, talk about, or discuss today? I would be happy to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting if that is the case then.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, I declare the meeting adjourned. And thank you all very much.